This year, we saw the greatest College World Series of all time. From Paul Skeens' insanity on the mound to an incredible Cinderella run, we saw it all. The entire 2023 college baseball season was fun, but unfortunately I don't have time in this video to recap it in its entirety. So, I'm just going to start with the College World Series. Played in Omaha, Nebraska at Charles Schwab Field, it's a 2-week event that draws thousands of fans every year. This year, however, was extra special with a record crowd. 392,946 fans made up the total attendance, the most in College World Series history. Now, this attendance record was broken for good reason this year. The 8-team pool that made up the tournament included so many must-watch players and must-watch teams. Let me lay out all 8 teams for you. Oral Roberts, the third 4-seed in history to reach the College World Series. TCU, one of the hottest teams entering the tournament, riding an 11-game win streak. Virginia, a regional host who battled through to earn their tournament berth. Florida, one of the most exciting offenses in all of baseball, a favorite to win it after their 50-win season. Tennessee, a perennial powerhouse who found their way back to their second tournament appearance in the last 3 years. LSU, another powerhouse that is no stranger to Omaha with 18 College World Series appearances. Stanford, the 8th-ranked team in the country who advanced to Omaha on one of the craziest plays you'll ever see. Wake Forest, the number 1 ranked team in the country for much of the season, another heavy tournament favorite. Hey guys, it's Jordan. If you like what you're seeing in this video today, hit that subscribe button to keep up to date with all things Start Raving Sports. The format of the World Series is 2 4-team double elimination brackets. The winner of each bracket advances to a 3-game championship series. Let's take a look at how the top half of this bracket went down. Oral Roberts versus TCU. Cole Fontenelle crushed the first home run of the World Series to break open scoring. ORU answered back with a 2-run shot from Mac McCroskey not long after to take the lead. The Horned Frogs took a commanding 5-2 lead heading into the 9th. Then came an incredible rally. Oral Roberts got the game within 2. The go-ahead run and Blaze Brothers stepped up to the plate.
And this one is hammered to left field. Did he do it? Yes, sir!
One swing later, and the Golden Eagles had the lead. Their underdog story would continue on. Later that day came another comeback victory, Virginia and Florida. A 4-run 4th inning gave the Cavaliers a comfortable lead. Florida chipped away but ultimately entered the bottom of the 9th with a 5-3 deficit. Solo home run, Ty Evans. Gators within 1. Solo home run, Wyatt Langford. Tie ball game.
And Heyman's the hero. Florida walks it off with a 9th-inning comeback.
Florida takes the first walk-off of the College World Series. Oral Roberts, Florida. Another Ty Evans home run gives Florida an early lead. Then a Josh Rivera dinger. And then Luke Heyman for the Gators' third of the day. ORU's rally wasn't done yet. Bottom of the 7th, Matt Hogan inside the park home run.
Matt Hogan goes for the plate. Inside the park home run.
The only inside the parker of the tournament. They truly still get me every time. It is so impressive. The Golden Eagles scored 1 more run in a 9th-inning push, but Florida ultimately pulled ahead. In the first elimination game of the tournament, it was TCU and Virginia. A back-and-forth game would ultimately give the Horned Frogs the win. Virginia's season ended as the first team out in the tournament. An Oral Roberts TCU rematch up next in another elimination game. It was the Horned Frogs from the jump and they never looked back. They scored 6 unanswered runs in 5 innings. It was the end of the road for Oral Roberts and the end of an incredible run, only the 3rd ever tournament 4-seed to reach the College World Series. And they did it with some highly underrated players. Center fielder Jonah Cox was one of the best hitters in baseball this year. He ended the season as the Division I hit leader with 114. The most impressive feat for Cox was his 47-game hitting streak. It was the 3rd longest streak in D1 baseball history. He did it all collecting his gummy worms from his first base coach. Yes, gummy worms. Every time a Golden Eagle got a hit, they were given a gummy worm when they made it on base safely. There could truly be an entire video on what Oral Roberts did in the postseason. They brought some of the most entertaining games of the year and were one of the most fun teams to watch. Back to the bracket. TCU, Florida. With a win, Florida would advance to the championship series and TCU would be eliminated. In case you haven't figured it out, Florida hits a lot of balls really far. Josh Rivera crushed a 2-run homer to give Florida the lead in the first. The Horned Frogs battled and tied the game in the bottom of the 8th. Top 9, the winning run on 3rd. 2 outs, Cade Kurland legs out an infield single to give Florida the lead. The Gators shut out TCU in the bottom of the ninth and advanced to the finals in style.
Wow! Florida's headed to the final!
So, bracket 1 was set. The Florida Gators punched their ticket. Let's take a look at the second half of the bracket. Stanford and Wake Forest. The Cardinal get an early 2-1 lead and hang on to it until the bottom of the 8th. The Demon Deacons put together a 2-run rally to take the lead 3-2 and go on to win it. Not a walk-off, but still, a fun late comeback win. Next game, Tennessee and LSU. If you watch a game just to see balls hit really far, this one was for you. 3 homers combined that eventually led to a 6-3 win for the Tigers. LSU Wake Forest. One of the most anticipated matchups of the tournament, and it certainly didn't disappoint. The Tigers took a lead early, scoring 2 in 3 innings. The Demon Deacons tied the game up in the 6th. Bottom of the 8th, RBI single Bennett Lee. Wake Forest leads. They held on to that lead and stayed on the winner's half of the bracket. Tennessee versus Stanford. The Cardinals strung together 4 runs in the first 3 innings, a nice lead in an elimination game. Bottom of the 5th, the Vols rally and tie things up with a 2-run single from Christian Moore. They took the lead in the top of the 7th and would emerge victorious. It's easy to forget about pitching in these exciting offensive games. Chase Burns entered the game for Tennessee after Stanford's rally. He tossed 6 shutout innings, allowing just 2 hits. He struck out 9 in one of the best pitching performances of the tournament. LSU Tennessee, another elimination game. The Tigers did what they've done all season, win baseball games. They ran away with the 5-0 victory to stay alive. I won't highlight all of the scoring plays, but I will show you the Dylan Cruz home run from this one. This brings us to a rematch, LSU Wake Forest. If the Demon Deacons win, they move on and LSU is sent home. Wake scored the first 2 runs of the game, but it was all Tigers from there. They tied things up on a wild pitch in which Dylan Cruz scored. With Cade Belloso's 3-run home run, they took the lead and went on to win 5-2. Because of the double elimination format of the bracket, Wake and the Tigers would play once more in an all-or-nothing game. It was a pitching matchup of college baseball fans' dreams, Rhett Lauder versus Paul Skeens, the 2 best pitchers in college baseball, with a championship berth on the line. It was better than anyone could have imagined. For Wake Forest, Lauder tossed 7 shutout innings, giving up just 3 hits. For Louisiana State, it was 8 scoreless innings from Skeens in 120 pitches. Paul Skeens threw 120 pitches. He struck out 9 hitters in that game. After 9 innings, the ballgame was still scoreless. On to extras. Who doesn't love free baseball, right? 10th inning, no runs. Top of the 11th, no runs. Bottom of the 11th, Dylan Cruz leads off with a single. That brings up Tommy White.
And he hung one. Did he get it? Did he get it? Yes, he did!
Tommy Tanks and the LSU Tigers walk it off to advance to the finals. It was a game for the ages. So, the championship is set. The Florida Gators and the Louisiana State Tigers, 2 of the most prominent teams in college baseball, for a best-of-3 series. Game 1. LSU scores first, and again with a Gavin Douglas solo home run. BT Rio Pell gives Florida the 3-2 lead on his solo shot in the 6th. He was a hero just 2 days before, and he was a hero again. Tommy White ties things up with a home run in the 8th. Tied at 3 to extra innings. No runs in the top of the 10th. Top of the 11th.
That one was right in his wheelhouse, and Belloso, big-time home run to put the Tigers on top.
Cade Belloso, the homer for the lead. It ended up being the game-winning home run as LSU won after 11 innings. It was Ty Floyd on the mound for the Tigers to start the game. He struck out 17 hitters, tying the College World Series 9-inning record. He did it in 8 innings on 122 pitches. With LSU leading the series, it was time for Game 2. It was not as tight scoring of a game, but let me tell you, it was exciting. Remember how I said Florida had one of the best offenses in the country? Well, they scored a record 24 runs in Game 2 of the finals. Now, I definitely don't have time to take you through every scoring play in this one, so let me give you a brief synopsis. The Gators recorded 23 hits with 6 home runs. Wyatt Langford went 5 for 5 with 4 runs and 6 RBI. It was one of the single best offensive performances in the tournament. Florida broke the run record on Derek Fabian's RBI single in the top of the 9th. Series tied at 1, it all came down to Game 3 of the championship series. Wyatt Langford continued his impressive tournament with the 2-run home run in the first. The Gators' lead didn't last long with a 6-run inning from the Tigers in the top of the second. Runs continued to pile up for LSU as they plated another 4 in the fourth, giving them a 10-2 lead. The Gators were able to put up 2 more runs of their own, but it wasn't enough. The Tigers' offense never stopped as they had an 18-4 lead going into the bottom of the ninth. Gavin Guidry was in to pitch for LSU.
There it is! And for the first time since 2009, the Tigers can say, "We are champions."
The LSU Tigers were College World Series champions. I want to take a second to shout out the Tigers fan base who showed up to Omaha. Of course, we know fans for all 8 teams came out to break the attendance record, but LSU fans took it to another level. Every year, Rocco's hosts a Jello shot challenge. They keep a tally of how many shots are bought by the fans of each team. The record heading into this year for one team was 18,777 Jello shots by Ole Miss last year. LSU fans blew that number out of the water, buying 68,888 shots this year. It was clear that Tiger fans were not out to play at the College World Series this year. One fan even grilled an alligator at a tailgate before the finals. I'd like to think having their faithful in the stands helped LSU to their title, but I know for sure a couple notable players did. Paul Skeens took home the College World Series Most Outstanding Player award. In his first start against Tennessee early in the tournament, Skeens threw 7.2 innings, allowing just 2 runs while striking out in an impressive 12. He tossed 123 pitches in the outing. Skeens turned around less than a week later and did it again in his win against Wake Forest. Skeens has become one of the most electric players college baseball has ever seen, and he is slated to be a top 5 pick in this year's MLB draft, so don't forget the name. Skeens' LSU teammate Dylan Cruz is projected to be another top pick in this year's draft. You've heard his name throughout this video, and that's because he played a crucial role in LSU's tournament victory. In Game 3 of the finals, Cruz went 4 for 6 with 3 runs, an RBI, and a walk. Their names will be called at the MLB draft in due time. Now, there will be many more players' names you've heard in this video also get the draft call within the coming years. When you watch the College World Series, you are watching the future of baseball. You're watching the best players on the biggest stage of their lives. You're watching fans travel thousands of miles to see their guys one last time. You're watching some of the most entertaining baseball you'll ever see. And this year, we were lucky enough to see the greatest College World Series of all time.